So, I'm about to embark on a little bit of a journey, and I thought I'd take you along. I'm about to read my very first fan fiction. Basically, my friend was talking about this one particular book, this one fan fiction, and she said that it was basically her ideal romance situation, romance storyline. She said it had everything that she liked in romance, and when I heard that I was like, oh, okay. Because here's the thing with her, if I know anything about her, it's that she is really hard to please when it comes to romances. So when I heard that particular review from her, I was intrigued. I was like, okay, I've never read fan fiction before. I have been interested in it just because, you know, I've always kind of shipped Draco and Hermione. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you, we're reading Draco and Hermione fanfiction. So I've always been into Draco and Hermione, but you know, besides that, like I was on Tumblr. A lot of people on Tumblr were into fanfiction, you know, fanfiction.net and things like that. Supernatural fanfiction was big when I was in high school as well. Yeah, I've never ventured into that. I've never actually like read any. So the book is called Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, and it's by Is This Self-Care? Apparently this is obviously it's Draco and Hermione, so there is enemies to lovers, which is my favorite thing in the world. And also since I've done a little bit of digging about what this is actually about, so we follow them later on in life, so they're like a little bit older than their Hogwarts days. I don't know if they're like in their 20s or in their 30s, I'm not sure, but Hermione is a healer, I think, and Draco is an aura. And Draco, get this, Draco is tasked to protect Hermione because she's working on some top secret project or something. He's gonna protect her. He's gonna protect her. I'm in. I'm so in. I'm so excited. I'm so giddy. I haven't even started and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, I thought I'd take you along with me.
Look how cute this cover is too. I really like it. Oh, I didn't know there would be artwork involved. That's pretty cool.
Right, so this story basically jumps straight in, which I appreciate. Sorry about the gloom. I tried to turn on as many lights as I could because it's like really gloomy and rainy outside. I think autumn has finally come, mid-April. So like I mentioned, Draco is an aura. Hermione is so she is kind of like both in the Muggle world and also in the Wizarding world. So she's a healer, but she is also a researcher at Cambridge. Like there's like a Wizarding side of Cambridge and she's a researcher there. We don't really know what she's researching yet, which is why like she needs protection, but we know, like, even Draco doesn't know like what her findings have been and why the Minister of Magic is like so cautious about people knowing what she knows, and like that's kind of like the reason why she needs to be protected. She also, I think, works at an ER or something. Like she works at a hospital, I think, as a healer. Because she says that like keeps her healing abilities sharp or something. So originally Draco was supposed to kind of like be her bodyguard, basically, like 24/7, but neither of them want that. You know, Hermione doesn't want Draco looming around, and Draco also is just like, I don't want to hang around you kind of thing. Just because they haven't like, this is the first time of them meeting after Hogwarts. Like they haven't seen each other. You know, there was the whole Hogwarts war and stuff, and so they don't like each other. They don't want to be around each other, basically. So one of the things that Draco recommended was to ward her office space, ward her car, ward her apartment, but also give her basically like a tracking ring. Which he like charmed, because this ring kind of connects to his ring, which I love the idea of their rings being connected. I think it's really, really cute. So yeah, so you know, obviously Draco can kind of like see where she's at and what she's doing and everything, and we get to a point where she has one of her like days off, because he has to know her schedule, and she has one of her days off, and Draco's like, why is she sort of out and about, like what is she up to? It turns out she's kind of working on that thing that she's researching. So that's basically where I'm up to. I really like it so far. I really like it so far. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I really like the way this author has written their characters. Okay, so I just finished chapter 10. I'm around about 20% through this book, so I thought I'd do a little bit of an update. I really like that this story is from Draco's perspective. I don't usually read a lot of books, especially romance books, from like the male's perspective, so I think that that's really interesting. I also think that, and this is coming from someone who hasn't reread the Harry Potter series in a long time. Like, I first read them when I was 12, so I'm 31 this year, so it's been a while. I don't think I've ever reread the books. I do remember a little bit more in terms of the movies, so like I don't completely know if the way the characters are written are like 100% accurate, but from what I remember, I think it's close enough. It's close enough that I feel like it's Draco and I feel like it's Hermione. Does that make sense? Like the words that they use, the way they talk, the way they kind of banter, I guess. The other thing that I really like so far is that nothing too dramatic. Well, I don't know, I guess it depends what you would call dramatic, but in my opinion, nothing too dramatic has changed in terms of the past. Like the author didn't change too much about about what happened to the, like how their interactions were during the school years, you know, like she mentions when he called her a mudblood, and like just all of that stuff, and like how she was tortured in Malfoy Manor in the last book, you know, like things like that don't really change. Obviously there are like certain changes, like certain characters have definitely changed a little bit, and like the ending of course has changed, but their interactions, like isolating their interactions together, hasn't really changed that much, which I really like. I think it's really cool because it's like, it's kind of it just makes you feel like it's Draco and Hermione. Like it just feels like it is. Oh, by the way, I will mention, if you have a Kindle and not another brand of e-reader, even though that the Kindle is technically like an Amazon thing and you can only buy books on Amazon through the Kindle, there is a way that you can put like PDFs and stuff like that onto your Kindle. There's an app called Calibre that you can get on your computer, and then you install that, and then you get whatever PDF you want, or like something that's not from like the Kindle store or like the Amazon store. You can put it on the file on Calibre and then plug your Kindle in and it will work. I am over halfway. I think I'm 67% through this book. So a lot of things happened. There's been some developments of feelings from Draco's kind of side, more so, just because we are mostly in Draco's head, which I really like. It's very slow burn, it's very piney, and like he's trying really hard not to have feelings, which is really cute. We do also get a little bit more information about Hermione's little cure that she's working on, little project that she's working on. I don't really understand the extent of it, because like she ends up telling Draco and Draco's like, oh my god, that's like really cool. The other thing that's happened is, so all this time Draco's been trying to protect her because the Minister of Magic is suspecting that whatever she's working on is not going to be something that some groups of people will like. And I think earlier she had a little bit of an incident in her home. Luckily nothing happened, but in the halfway point there was a kind of a bigger incident that happened, and so because of that Hermione is now asked to, like, she can't stay in her own home by herself, so she's asked to move into the Malfoy Manor so that Draco can kind of look after her and protect her like 24 hours. He's not there like 24 hours either though, because whenever she has to work at the hospital like or the labs or something, like Ron or Harry will be there to be her protector basically. Okay, so I finally finished Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love, falling in love, being in love, I think that's what it's called. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I did like the characters. Like I like this fan fiction version of both Draco and Hermione, and I also really like that. Okay, hang on. Before we get into the things that I liked, I thought I would touch on something that I didn't like. It's only one little thing, but I didn't want to end with something that I didn't like, so I thought I'd mention it right now. But the only thing I didn't like about this book is how long it was. It felt really long, and I'm like, obviously that's like a personal preference. I'm someone who I don't read a lot of long books. I don't know how long this book is, obviously, because I like read it on like ebook, like on digital, so I don't know how long exactly it is if it were to be like in a like page wise, but I'm not usually a long book reader. I like very short books. That's just the kind of reader I am. I'm also just a very slow reader, so when I read a long book it just makes me read it really slow. But I guess the other reason why it took me a little bit to read this is because I was like going back and rereading each chapter, especially in the beginning. I was kind of doing that because I was enjoying it so much. So moving on to the things that I did like I mentioned, I like the two characters. I also like that with the romance, first of all, I haven't read a romance where it's from the point of view of the male character, so that was really fun. I liked that. Second of all, I like that a lot of the prompting of the romance, I guess you could say, is from Hermione's side, so I thought that that was really nice. I guess it is because we are in Draco's head, and Draco is the one that is doing a lot of the overthinking inside his own head, and so to see like Hermione do the prompting of the actions was kind of nice. I kind of like it fits her character to me, her character in this book anyway. So yeah, I really like that. I also like how slow burn it is. I'm very hit or miss when it comes to slow burn romances, and I think this one did it well, and I think it did it well because there was a lot of other stuff going on, like the actual plot outside of the romance. There was a lot of stuff going on, and so it made sense that that the romance would be more of a slow burn. I actually enjoyed that. It gave room for a lot of pining and a lot of longing and a lot of like thinking about the other person, which is really, really nice. What else do I like? I like that the two characters are always on the same team. I think I mentioned it in a lot of my romances, but I like when you have a romance between two characters and they're not even together yet, but they already kind of work as a team despite their differences, despite their disagreements. They try really hard to work as a team, because I think that that's just realistic. That's just what, you know, what a real life partnership is supposed to be. You're supposed to work as a team together to face the end goal of whatever you're working on. Does that make sense? So they're never like working against each other, they're always working together. And I really like that you could see the subtleties of that even before they realized that they liked each other. When it comes to the plot outside of the romance, I thought it was really fun. It felt very fleshed out. It felt very planned. I don't know how long it took this author to write this whole thing, because I've never read fan fiction before, but I'm assuming that they come out with each chapter like separately. So I don't know how long it took them to come out with all these chapters, but the plot outside of it felt kind of fleshed out, which I really enjoyed. The scene towards the end, the kind of big battle scene or whatever, I really, really liked that one. I basically read the last sort of 20 to 10% in like pretty much one sitting, which was really good. It like really built up the momentum. I also really liked the side characters. I thought that they were so fun, and they added more kind of banter to the story, I guess, which was nice. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I think, I don't know, dare I say it, I think I want to read more fan fiction, at least dramione fan fiction. I don't know how I feel about anything else right now, but I am excited to explore more dramione fan fiction. I never thought that I would be into this, but yeah, no, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. One thing I thought was just, I have to tell you, so I don't know if I mentioned it in the beginning, but I was explaining this whole plot and this whole story to Andrew in the beginning, so like a couple of weeks ago, and I was explaining to him what Draco's job was and how he was an aura and everything like that, and Andrew just went, so he's basically Fox Mulder from the X-Files, and I lost my shit. I was like, that brought a new perspective into my head, and I really like it. So yeah, anyway, I'm gushing now. So yeah, if you're interested, if you've never read a fan fiction before, I highly recommend this one, especially if you're into like Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger. Yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.